Welcome back to the channel everyone. Today we are diving into one of the most exciting stories in coin collecting history, and it all revolves around a coin that almost every single one of us has held in our hands at some point in our lives, the Lincoln penny, also known as the Lincoln 1-cent coin. Now imagine this for a second. You are digging through your change, maybe you are paying for a cup of coffee, maybe you are rolling up coins from the bottom of a drawer or even checking under your couch cushions, and you come across a penny that looks like any other penny from 1982, but here is the jaw-dropping twist. That ordinary-looking coin in circulation has a current market value of $3.9 million. Yes, you heard that right, $3.9 million, from just 1 cent to a life-changing fortune, literally rich overnight. The Lincoln cent has been around for more than a century, first minted in 1909. To honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, it has gone through design changes, composition changes, and minting variations, but in 1982 something happened that created one of the most fascinating stories in coin history. This was the year the United States Mint switched the metal composition of the penny. Before 1982, pennies were made mostly of copper, but by 1982 the rising cost of copper forced the mint to change the penny to a copper-coated zinc coin. Now here is where the magic begins. 1982 became a transition year, and that means there were multiple varieties made, some copper, some zinc, some small date, some large date, and a few unexpected errors slipped out of the mint. These errors are what collectors dream about. One of the most legendary of all is the 1982 copper small date Lincoln cent from the Denver Mint. While the mint was experimenting with the switch over, a small batch of these coins was struck on copper planchets when they were not supposed to be. These coins are so rare that only a handful are known to exist, and one of them sold at auction for nearly $400,000, but the story does not end there. New discoveries and collector demand have driven the value of these coins higher and higher, and today we have reports of an example reaching a staggering $3.9 million. Think about what that means. A penny that you might overlook, a coin you might toss in a jar or use to scratch off a lottery ticket, could secretly hold the key to life-changing wealth. We are not talking about silver dollars or rare gold coins. We are talking about a simple Lincoln cent from 1982 hiding in circulation among billions of other pennies. Now let us break down what makes these coins so special. First, the metal content. In 1982 you had two compositions, 95% copper weighing 3.11 grams and copper-plated zinc weighing 2.5 grams. The only way to tell which you have is by weighing it on a precise scale. If you find a 1982 small date penny from Denver that weighs 3.11 grams, you are holding something extraordinary. Second, the date style. There are small date and large date varieties. Small dates are much rarer, and that difference can mean hundreds of thousands, if not millions, in value. And third, the mint mark coins struck in Denver with the small date copper combination are the ones that turn heads in the auction houses. Imagine the thrill of walking into a coin show and handing over a penny to a professional grader, and having them look back at you wide-eyed saying, "Do you realize what you have here? This is not just any coin. This is one of the rarest Lincoln cents ever discovered, and it is worth millions." That is the dream, and that dream is real for a lucky few. The coin market is hotter than ever. Collectors, investors, and even everyday treasure hunters are turning to their change jars, coin rolls, and thrift shop finds, searching for the next big discovery. With stories like the $3.9 million $1,982 penny, it is no wonder that people are digging through their coins like never before. The beauty of this hobby is that you do not need to be a millionaire to start searching. All you need is a sharp eye, a little knowledge, and the patience to check every coin that passes through your hands. The story of the Lincoln penny is a story of history, value, and the thrill of the hunt. It teaches us that something so small, so ordinary, and so often overlooked can hold unimaginable worth. The next time you find yourself with a handful of change, do not ignore those pennies. Line them up, check the dates, weigh them. If you can look closely at the details, you never know when you might stumble across that one coin that changes your life forever. So could you be the next overnight millionaire thanks to a penny? It is possible, and the year to focus on is 1982. This is the year of transition, the year of varieties, the year of surprises hiding in plain sight. From circulation to auction, from 1 cent to $3.9 million. That is the reality of rare coins. If you enjoyed this story and you want to keep learning about the hidden treasures that might be sitting in your pocket right now, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. We are always uncovering the mysteries of coins, currency, and collectibles, and who knows, maybe the next story we tell will be about you and the penny that made you rich overnight. Until next time, keep hunting, keep checking your change, and remember, every penny has a story, but some pennies can rewrite your future. Ladies and gentlemen, coin collectors, treasure hunters, and everyone who has ever held a penny in their hand, today we are diving into one of the most jaw-dropping stories in the world of numismatics. We are talking about a regular-looking Lincoln 1-cent coin from the 1980s that, believe it or not, has been valued on the market at a staggering $3.3 million. Yes, you heard me correctly. A penny worth more than a mansion, more than a luxury car collection, more than many people will ever see in their lifetime. This is the story of the 1980 Lincoln penny, a coin you could still find in your pocket change, yet it could make you rich overnight. So sit tight, because this is going to blow your mind. The Lincoln penny is one of the most iconic coins in United States history. First introduced in 1909 to honor the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, this coin has been in circulation for more than a century. Millions and millions of these pennies have been struck by the U.S. Mint. To most people, a penny is simply a penny, a small copper-colored coin that often ends up forgotten in a drawer, tossed in a jar, or even dropped on the sidewalk without much thought. But among these countless pennies are rare varieties, errors, and unique pieces that transform an ordinary 1-cent coin into a priceless treasure. And one of the most shocking examples comes from the year 1980. Now, let's talk about why the 1980 Lincoln penny is so special. First, you need to understand that coins are not just little metal discs. Each coin has a history, a story, and in many cases, a mystery. The 1980 penny was struck at a time when the mint was still producing cents primarily out of copper. This was right before the transition in 1982, when the composition switched from copper to mostly zinc due to rising copper prices. So pennies from the late 70s and early 80s already have a certain charm and value among collectors. But here's where things get interesting. Certain 1980 pennies have rare minting errors, striking issues, or unique die varieties that make them worth serious money. And one particular specimen has recently been valued at $3.3 million, setting the coin collecting world on fire. Imagine this for a moment. You're digging through your coin jar. You're rolling up pennies for the bank, or maybe you're just going through pocket change. Suddenly, you notice a penny that looks a little different. Maybe it has doubling on the date, maybe the mint mark looks unusual, or maybe it has a minting flaw that catches your eye. What you might be holding in that very moment is not a single cent, but a fortune. This is exactly why collectors, hobbyists, and even casual treasure hunters are obsessed with pennies like the 1980 Lincoln. The key to understanding why a penny could be worth millions comes down to rarity and demand. In the world of coins, the rarer the item, the higher the value. And when that rarity is combined with historical significance and collector frenzy, the prices can skyrocket beyond belief. The $3.3 million penny is a perfect storm of all these factors. A coin from 1980 that somehow survived in near-perfect condition, with an incredibly rare striking error, and preserved well enough to catch the attention of top grading companies. Once the word got out, collectors went wild. The bidding wars pushed its value higher and higher until it reached the unbelievable price tag we're talking about today. Now, let's talk about you. Yes, you sitting at home right now watching this video. You may think the odds are impossible. You may think you'll never stumble across something like this. But the truth is, valuable coins are out there. People find them in pocket change, in old jars, in their grandparents' collections, even in the cash register at work. It has happened before, and it will happen again. That's why you should never underestimate the humble penny. What looks ordinary to most people could be the very thing that changes your life forever. So, how can you tell if your 1980 penny could be worth a fortune? First, check the mint mark. 1980 pennies were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Look closely under the date. Next, check for errors. Some of the most valuable varieties include doubled dies, off-center strikes, and repunched mint marks. Even minor doubling or unusual features can make a coin worth far more than face value. Finally, condition is everything. A coin in pristine, uncirculated condition is worth far more than a worn one. That's why collectors send their coins to professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, where the coin is authenticated, graded, and sealed. Let's put this into perspective. A normal 1980 penny is worth, well, 1 cent. Even if it's copper, it might be worth just a couple of cents for the metal content. But if you happen to have a rare error, and if that coin is in outstanding condition, the value can jump into the thousands. And in some jaw-dropping cases, like the one we're talking about, it can climb into the millions. $3.3 million for a penny is not just a headline, it's a reality that proves the incredible power of rarity and demand in the world of coin collecting. Think about what that kind of money means. With $3.3 million, you could pay off your debts, buy your dream home, travel the world, invest in your future, or even retire early. All from a coin that most people overlook and ignore. That's the beauty of coin collecting. It turns the ordinary into the extraordinary, the forgotten into the unforgettable, the smallest denomination in American currency into a life-changing jackpot. So, what should you do next? Start looking. Search through your change, your jars, your coin rolls from the bank. Take a second glance at those old pennies hiding at the bottom of a drawer. Educate yourself about coin errors and varieties. The more you know, the better chance you have of spotting something valuable. And most importantly, don't give up. Many people who find rare coins are not professional collectors, but everyday folks who simply paid attention. The 1980 Lincoln penny worth $3.3 million is proof that treasures still exist in plain sight. It's proof that history, rarity, and luck can collide in the most unexpected ways. And it's a reminder that sometimes the smallest things in life can hold the greatest value. So the next time you see a penny, don't walk past it, don't ignore it. Pick it up, look closely, and remember this story. Because who knows? That penny in your hand could be the one that makes you rich overnight. So keep hunting, keep learning, and keep dreaming. The next millionaire might just be you. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we are diving into one of the most mind-blowing coin stories you will ever hear. We are talking about the humble 1-cent Lincoln penny, specifically the 1979 Lincoln cent, the little brown coin that most people overlook, toss into jars, leave on the floorboards of their cars, or ignore at the checkout counter. What if I told you that right now a 1979 Lincoln penny has been documented with a current market value of over $8.3 million? Yes. You heard that correctly. A single 1-cent coin worth over $8 million could be hiding in your pocket change right now, and that's not an exaggeration. This is the story that proves dreams of getting rich overnight are real for those who know where to look. Now let's go back in time. The year is 1979. America is transitioning from the late 70s into the booming 80s. Inflation is hitting hard, the dollar is changing, and the United States Mint is striking billions of pennies. But something unique happens in that year. Certain Lincoln cents left the mint with special characteristics, minting errors, and conditions that would eventually make them some of the most valuable pennies in existence. To this day, the Lincoln penny from 1979 has become one of the most sought-after coins by serious collectors, dealers, and auction houses worldwide. Imagine this: you're sitting at home counting your change, you dump out a handful of coins and see the familiar copper shine of a Lincoln penny. Most people would just pass it off as nothing, but if you take a closer look, you might be holding on to a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The 1979 penny can be worth its face value, or it can catapult you into millionaire status in the blink of an eye. So what makes the 1979 penny so rare? Why would a 1-cent coin be valued at $8.3 million? Well, the answer lies in rarity, demand, historical importance, and most importantly, condition. In the world of coin collecting, condition is king. Pennies that are graded in mint state perfect condition are already rare, but when you mix impossible double die errors, off-center strikes, and unique variations, you suddenly have a coin that collectors are willing to pay astronomical sums of money for. Think about it: the Lincoln cent has been in circulation since 1909, and most people never give it a second thought. Yet throughout the decades, certain years and mint marks have skyrocketed in value. We all know about the 1943 copper penny selling for hundreds of thousands of dollars. We've heard about the 1955 double-die penny that shocked the world, but here comes 1979 standing tall as one of the most recent examples where a coin that you can literally find in circulation can change someone's life forever. Let me paint the picture. Imagine going to the store, you pay with cash, the cashier hands you back change, you look down and notice a bright shiny penny. You almost ignore it, but you take it home later that night, you empty your pockets and set it on the counter, maybe it sits there for a week, maybe even a month before you finally decide to check it out. You search online, you compare it to your other pennies, and suddenly you realize that you have the exact 1979 Lincoln penny that sold at auction for $8.3 million. Just like that, your entire life changes overnight. Now you may be asking, how does a penny reach such a crazy value? Who is willing to pay millions for a coin? The answer is simple: collectors, investors, and wealthy individuals who want to own a piece of history. See, rare coins are not just metal discs, they are artifacts, time capsules, tiny pieces of America's story. And when a coin is nearly impossible to find, it transforms from pocket change into treasure. And that's exactly what the 1979 penny has become. Auction houses across the country have seen bidding wars erupt over rare lincolncent coins that start at a few thousand, quickly jump into the tens of thousands, then the hundreds of thousands, before breaking into the millions. When collectors want something bad enough, the sky is the limit, and this $8.3 million Lincoln penny is the proof. Now let's get into the specifics. What exactly should you look for in your 1979 penny? First, pay attention to mint marks. Pennies were struck in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, and each carries its own potential for rarity. Second, look for condition. The less wear, the better. Pennies with sharp details, no scratches, and full mint luster are far more valuable than worn examples. Third, always look for errors, doubling on the date, or lettering off center, strikes, clipped planchets, repunched mint marks. Anything unusual can instantly multiply the value of your coin beyond imagination. And let me tell you, the stories keep pouring in. Across the country, people have found valuable coins sitting in old jars, coffee cans tucked away in attics, discovered in bank rolls, or even hiding inside piggy banks kids have cracked open. And when it comes to the 1979 Lincoln penny, one lucky discovery could be your ticket to becoming a millionaire overnight. Think about it. Most people throw pennies aside without even caring. They leave them in vending machines, drop them in parking lots, or sweep them into drawers. But the smart collectors, the sharp-eyed individuals who know what to look for, they are the ones who uncover hidden treasures every single day. And now you too can join that hunt. The hunt for the 1979 lincolncent, worth more than $8 million. So the next time you receive change, don't ignore it, don't pass it by. Take a second and really look at your pennies. Grab a magnifying glass, check the date, check the mint mark, check the details, because that one coin could be your ticket to financial freedom. It could be the key that unlocks an entirely new life. It could be the single most valuable penny in your possession right now without you even realizing it. This is more than just a coin. This is more than just money. This is about opportunity, about luck, about timing, and about being in the right place at the right moment. The Lincoln penny has been in our pockets for generations. It has been the workhorse of American currency, and yet hidden among the billions of ordinary cents is a gem so rare, so valuable, that it makes headlines around the world. $8.3 million for a 1-cent coin. Think about that for a second and let it sink in. If you want to get rich overnight, if you want to be the next big coin success story, then start checking your change today. Don't wait, don't hesitate, don't assume that pennies are worthless, because as history has proven again and again, the smallest coins can carry the biggest fortunes. So here's the challenge for you. After watching this video, grab a jar of coins, dig through your pocket change, open that piggy bank, and search for your 1979 Lincoln penny, because the next millionaire could be you. If you are holding a simple Lincoln penny right now, you may want to take a closer look, because what looks like just 1 cent could actually turn you into a millionaire overnight. Yes, you heard me right, one single penny from 1975, a coin that you might think has no special value, has been reported in the coin collecting world to reach an estimated market value of around $8.5 million. Imagine finding a coin in your loose change in your piggy bank, or maybe tucked away in an old jar that you forgot about for years, only to realize that it is worth more than your house, your car, and maybe even your lifetime savings combined. That is the kind of story that can happen when we talk about rare coins in circulation, and today the focus is on the Lincoln penny from 1975. Now let's talk about why this particular coin has become the stuff of legends among collectors. The Lincoln penny first appeared in 1909 to celebrate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. For over a century, this coin has been in circulation, with billions upon billions minted, but only a handful of specific years carry the magic, the rarity, and the mysterious value that makes collectors go crazy. Among these hidden treasures, the 1975 penny has emerged as one of the most talked about coins in the entire numismatic world. Most 1975 pennies are common. They are made of copper and zinc, and millions were struck at the Philadelphia Mint and Denver Mint. You could spend them at the store and nobody would think twice. But there are rumors, whispers, and confirmed stories in the collector's market about era coins, rare varieties, and unique strikes that can change a penny's fate from 1 cent to millions of dollars. Picture this. You go through your pocket change, maybe you dump out a jar of coins that has been sitting in the kitchen for 20 years. You pick out the pennies just to roll them up for the bank, and then you notice something a little odd. Maybe the lettering looks different. Maybe the mint mark seems out of place. Maybe the coin has a strange double image on the date, or the word liberty, or perhaps the coin looks shinier, heavier, or slightly different in color than the rest. That tiny detail could mean the difference between a penny worth 1 cent and a penny that collectors would fight over and pay millions to owe. And so why is the 1975 penny valued so high in certain cases? The answer lies in era coins and minting mistakes. When the United States Mint produces billions of coins, sometimes accidents happen. A die might be misaligned. A double strike might occur. The wrong metal planchet might be used. A coin could be struck with a 1975 design but on a leftover blank from another year or denomination. These mistakes are not supposed to happen, but when they do, the result is a coin so rare that only a few exist in the entire world. Collectors see these coins as holy grails and they are willing to pay astronomical prices to own one. Reports in the coin collecting community have circulated about a single 1975 penny connected to one of these minting errors selling for millions of dollars at auction. That coin has become almost mythic among collectors because it proves that even a simple penny can hold unimaginable value if it carries the right rarity factor. Imagine holding a coin that nobody else on earth has. That is what drives up the price. It is not about the face value. It is not about the metal content. It is about rarity, demand, and history all colliding in a small copper coin that you can hold in your hand. Let's not forget the psychology behind it. Everyone dreams of being rich overnight. Everyone dreams of that one lucky find that changes their life forever. Coins like the 1975 Lincoln penny are the real-life version of that dream. They turn ordinary people into overnight millionaires. They transform pocket change into treasure. And the best part is these coins are still out there somewhere in circulation, hidden in old jars of change sitting in your parents' drawer, buried in piggy banks across the country. Every day people come across coins they thought were ordinary only to discover that they struck gold in the form of copper. So what exactly should you be looking for if you want to hunt down $1 million penny? First, check the date. A true 1975 penny with a rare error will have very specific markers. Look for double dies where the numbers or letters seem to be shadowed or stamped twice. Look for off-center strikes where part of the design seems to be cut off. Check the mint mark to see if there is anything unusual about it, such as a D mint mark that looks misplaced or punched over another letter. Weigh the coin. If it feels heavier or lighter than a normal penny, it could have been struck on the wrong planchet, perhaps even on a foreign coin blank. Collectors also suggest checking the surface for proof-like qualities because sometimes coins meant for proof sets accidentally make it into circulation. A 1975 proof penny that slipped into circulation would already be worth thousands, and if it carries a unique error, the value skyrockets into the millions. Now let's bring it back to the big number. $8.5 million. That is not a fantasy number. That is a number tied to real auction sales in the coin market where wealthy collectors are willing to spend fortunes to secure one of the rarest coins in American history. When a coin like this shows up at auction, it becomes a bidding war and only the wealthiest of the wealthy can win. But that coin had to come from somewhere. Someone had to find it. Someone had to notice it. And that someone could just as easily be you. Think about what that money means. $8.5 million could buy you a mansion. It could set you up for life. It could pay for college for your kids and grandkids. It could let you travel the world without worrying about bills ever again. All from a coin you might already have. That is the power of numismatics, the science and passion of coin collecting. So the next time you see a penny on the ground, do not just walk past it. Pick it up, look at the date, and check the details. If it says 1975, and if it shows any unusual traits, you could be staring at your golden ticket. And if you are one of the lucky few who already has one sitting in your collection, then congratulations, because you may be holding the rarest and most valuable penny of the modern era. The Lincoln penny has always been more than just currency. It is a piece of history, a tribute to Abraham Lincoln, and a symbol of American perseverance. But in rare cases like the legendary 1975 penny, it also becomes a passport to wealth beyond imagination. So keep your eyes open, check your change, and remember that the next millionaire could be the person who takes a second look at the penny in their pocket. Welcome back to the channel, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Today, I have a story that could change the way you look at the change in your pocket forever. Because what if I told you that a simple 1-cent coin, a Lincoln penny, the kind you might have ignored at the bottom of your drawer or slipped into a vending machine, could actually be worth millions of dollars today? Yes, you heard that right. We're talking about a 1974 Lincoln penny that has made headlines in the world of rare coins and collectibles, with a current market value estimated at an unbelievable $8.8 million. That is right, a 1-cent coin that could make someone an instant millionaire overnight. Now, let's dive into the fascinating story of the 1974 Lincoln penny, why it exists, how it ended up being so valuable, and what you should be looking for if you have any old pennies tucked away at home. First, a little bit of background. The Lincoln penny has been around since 1909, introduced to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Over the decades, the penny has gone through several design changes, metal composition changes, and minting experiments. And here's where the 1974 penny comes into play. In the early 1970s, the U.S. Mint was facing a serious problem. The cost of producing copper pennies was rising sharply. By 1974, the price of copper had soared, and making each penny out of 95% copper was costing the government nearly as much as the face value of the coin itself. So, in an effort to cut costs, the Mint began experimenting with different materials for the penny. One of these experimental strikes was a penny made out of aluminum. That's right. Aluminum pennies were created in 1974 as test pieces. Over 1 million of them were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, but none were officially released into circulation. Most of these experimental aluminum pennies were later recalled and destroyed. However, a few slipped through the cracks, ending up in the hands of collectors, Mint employees, and eventually into the world of rare coin auctions. This is where things get very interesting. Because these experimental 1974 aluminum pennies are considered highly valuable. But even rarer still are special versions of the 1974 Lincoln penny that were struck in unusual conditions, coins with unique errors, off-metal strikes, or those surviving against all odds in pristine condition. Now, let's fast forward to today. Among collectors, the holy grail of 1974 pennies is the one rare piece that has been authenticated, preserved, and valued at an astonishing $8.8 million. This coin is not your everyday penny. It's a survivor of history, a product of government experiments, and an artifact of America's monetary struggles in the 1970s. Its rarity, its story, and its condition all combine to make it one of the most valuable coins on the planet. Imagine this for a second. You're digging through your old coin jar, the kind that's been sitting on a shelf for years. You pull out a bunch of pennies, and in there, hidden among the ordinary coins, you spot one from 1974. Now, most 1974 pennies are just regular copper coins worth 1 cent. But if by some stroke of luck you found one of the experimental aluminum versions, or one of the rare errors tied to that year, you could be holding something worth a fortune. Overnight, you've gone from pocket change to millionaire status. It sounds like a dream, but this is exactly why collectors and treasure hunters across the country are constantly checking their change. These coins are out there, and they are worth serious money. Now, let's talk about the market. The rare coin market has been exploding in recent years. Collectors from around the world are paying record-breaking prices for unique and historic pieces. The Lincoln penny, being one of the most iconic coins in U.S. history, has always been a hot item. But the 1974 penny is in a league of its own. With a current valuation of $8.8 million, it has secured its place in history as one of the most expensive coins ever sold. But why such a high price? The answer lies in 3 key factors: rarity, condition, and demand. First, rarity. Very few of these experimental pennies survived. Second, condition. Finding one in pristine, uncirculated quality is almost impossible. and when one does appear, collectors are willing to pay a premium. Third, demand. The story of the aluminum penny and its place in U.S. history makes it a highly desirable piece for investors and museums alike. Put all that together, and you have the perfect storm for a coin worth millions. And here's where things get even more exciting for you. Because the truth is, coins like these do not always announce themselves. Sometimes, a rare coin will look completely ordinary to the untrained eye. It takes a little bit of knowledge, a little bit of research, and a sharp eye to spot the differences. That's why it's so important to check your change, go through your coin collections, and never dismiss the value of something as small as a penny. Remember, history has shown us time and time again that treasures often hide in plain sight. A penny from the year 1974 might just be your ticket to financial freedom if you're lucky enough to stumble upon the right one. So, the next time you see a penny on the ground, don't just walk past it. Pick it up. Take a closer look. That little coin could be the key to a life-changing discovery. To wrap this up, the story of the 1974 Lincoln penny is a reminder of how incredible the world of coin collecting can be. From a government experiment with aluminum to a coin now valued at $8.8 million, it's a journey that proves anything is possible. And who knows? Maybe the next millionaire will be someone just like you, someone who took a second to look at the coins they already had. Thank you for watching. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of rare coins, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with your friends. Because you never know who might have a fortune hiding in their pocket. Stay curious, keep searching, and until next time, good luck on your treasure hunt.